Oh, please come sit here.
Is it even on?
Alrighty. All right, you can have it. Move your chair.
Good.
Okay, now.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at this one.
Okay.
I forgot my bottle of water. I have a good selection.
Okay. Oh, boy, how it is bringing water?
Oh,
How it is bringing water?
okay.
I said, let it be just as that. That's fine.
Yeah. I wanted to let it out again.
But it's fine.
No, okay.
Are we good? Are we ready to go? All right, great. Welcome everybody to Zaluso Arts. We're here again with another session of OffScript. It's been a very long 2 months without it. Our country was going through a lot, so you have to understand why I took the break. But today's a very exciting session. We're joined by a very close friend of mine. We've been friends for a very long time, and he's a very, very talented fella. If you've been to any major show or concert, you've probably seen him on the guitar, or on the piano, or even just people playing his arrangements. He goes by many names, but a lot of you know him by AB Malinga or ABHD. Um, so we're going to be having a conversation, and throughout, we're going to learn about him as a person, his um, his practices, uh, what brought him here, some of the decisions that he does that um, consider him somebody who's working off the script. So it's a very short session. As usual, we run for about an hour. We'll also give you time to ask a few questions. We're also joined by an online audience, so shout out to you wherever you're watching from. And we hope to see you in person. But if not, um, stay with us. If you need the bathrooms, there's some inside. You can just ask Maya Esther. Maya and Esther, please put up your hands. Those two are here to help you if you need any sort of assistance. But feel free at home. And over to you, Mr. Malinga.
Thank you, man. Good morning, everybody. You look great. Thanks. I've known Yamigo for quite a while. I think probably over 15 years now.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
yeah. Went to the same school, and it's funny how the universe works. And here we are working together. So shout out to God, man. Shout out to the universe. Shout out to the energies.
Shout out for real.
So yeah, thank you all for coming out. My name is Robert Abraham Malinga. So a lot of people ask, what does AB mean? So AB started because of a friend. You know, he used to call me AB, AB, but it was because of my middle name. So a lot of people don't know my middle name. A lot of people back from school, high school, primary, whatever, just know me as Robert Malinga. I'm talking about Arobi. And at home, it's Bob. Hey, Bob, Bob. So,
Bob.
yeah, because if you're Robert, you're Bob, apparently. So that's what happens. So that's my name. But the name that all of you know is AB Malinga. So that I've been using that as a stage name, but the actual stage name is ABHD, which stands for AB High Definition. So maybe a lot of you saw the poster, or maybe you've seen online. Maybe my usernames have changed, and it's ABHD. It's just AB High Definition. Well, because I'm going to give you some high definition as we go on.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I want to share a little bit about my story. I'm sure that some of you are curious, some of you are not, because maybe you've been there as witnesses. But it dates back to the high school days. I think around 2009, 10, I started rapping. I'm sure a lot of us here have had that phase where we started rapping. You know, at a certain point. Lil Wayne was hot back then, you know, inspired a lot of us. I got into rapping and it wasn't really that good. I'm sure he knows.
It was okay. You had a hit back then.
I mean, yeah, I had like one hit, but
Yeah.
high school friends knew it. And as I went through, it it was really crazy how things happened. I started rapping, you know, bedroom, and then we had to try something become a V show at school, you know, that type of thing. When you have like talent shows, we used to rap, and then we had a group. We used to write together, and everything else just kind of went crazy when we started had to like we started to go to studios to actually record. We didn't have money, guys. We didn't have money. You know, my fan about school. We need to save. Sometimes we had to miss like certain lunch breaks, lunch money. Keep it so that when Friday comes, we contribute. Maybe it's like four of us put the money together and like, let's go to a producer. We go to a producer, and we're there. We don't even know what to do. We don't even know what to do. So I'm sure a lot of you see me now. You probably be like, nah, you're just lying, bro. Maybe it's not right now. But I've been through the worst of the worst, and I'm going to share what I can manage to share. And that brings me to introducing this topic called creating melodies through the scars. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you saw that and you're like, maybe it's going to be a musical workshop. Maybe we're going to talk about music. Yes, music is included. I'm a musician. I'm a producer. I'm an instrumentalist, as you mentioned. But I want us to talk about life in general as a creative and the things that we have to go through to get to a certain point. And I want to share with that. And if you have comments, questions, please feel free to ask to comment as well. You can just like raise a hand. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just raise a hand, and then we'll see where it takes us. So, starting with the topic, I've just given you a little intro of how it started. So now, what is a melody? Does anyone know what a melody is? Can anyone help us?
Anybody, random.
Random. What do you think is like the definition of melody is? Randomly. No one? I see TK over there. He's a musician. Well, who's in melody, Dijan? In whatever definition you can give us.
Okay, to my definition, nditaonera kuti imene mapanga kari nyimbo kuti imene mapanga define nyimbo.
Okay. So in other words, identity and nyimbo. Yeah. So in simple terms, I'd say melody is the most memorable part of a song, comprised of single notes. You can whistle this, you can hum this, and I'm sure we know this, but maybe we just haven't thought about it like that. Memorable, it gives you identity. We're going to get back to that as we go. And what is a scar? Anyone? Scar? Definition of a scar?
Your broken finger.
We don't have scars? What? Internal? Oh my days. Okay, he says internal. Okay, that's something. A scar, I can just say it, it's fine. A scar is basically a mark that is left on your skin or any other tissue on any other part of your body after an injury or a wound. So, for you to get a scar, you have to go through a healing phase. You have to go through pain. You have to go through a lot. You know, you have to go through. You have to be patient. For example, I have a scar right here on my finger. I broke my finger earlier this year, so we'll talk about it later. So, creating melodies to the scars. Most memorable part of a song, a mark that's left after you're wounded or injured. How have I created melodies to the scars? What scars do I have? That's what I would like to share. So that's how we came up with that topic. So, like I said, back to the story. Rapping. Broke. You know, mind you, at this point, I didn't know any instrument. I didn't know any music theory. I didn't have any professional training. This was just out of passion, out of inspiration. Because growing up, I was surrounded by a lot of hip hop listening. Like my brother used to listen to a lot of hip hop. My uncle used to listen to a lot of Tupac as well. So that kind of influenced me to also aspire to be a rapper. And I wanted to be a rapper so bad. But life had its course, and here we are. So yeah, as we went on, because we couldn't afford sessions anymore, I told myself I'm going to learn how to make instrumentals. And I started to make instrumentals.
Yeah.
And Ndiganina I started to make instrumentals. I think maybe you're, I think in good. Guys, I wish I brought my old PC. It's just that I needed a little bit of fixing. I kept those sessions.
Yeah.
Guys, instrumento yote sumunganveli. Mukoza kusega, and I'm pretty sure you'd think it was a baby doing this. It was so bad that even my mom was like, "Ngozi." My dad was so against it, like, "No, don't do this." My brother, on the other hand, he was encouraging, like, "Ah, keep going, keep going." But I think because brothers out here sometimes just there to inspire, But then I kept going. I kept going. My friends used to, I used to like, put it in my phone, I get my Express Music, my memory card. You know the struggle back
Bluetooth,
then.
infrared.
Bluetooth, infrared. The canvases and that to the instrumental, they're like, "Ish, I'm when is this in the eye? Just give up. Just stick to rapping. At least rapping, you can flow, you can write a verse." But I kept on going, kept on going. And as I went further, I started to make things that sounded better than what I did. And what I've noticed is that as a creative, whatever you do, you're a tailor, barber, cameraman, photographer, videographer, choreographer, baker, or you're like a cook. I feel like one thing we need to really focus on is consistency. You need to keep going, no matter what. Keep going. Because I feel like if I gave up at that point, I wasn't going to reach a certain level where I needed to add more skills to my craft. Professionally, I tried to follow the path of my father. He's an electrical engineer, so I studied electrical engineering as well. Never got a job. I applied for certain jobs, I think 7 actually. Got rejected, all of them. Then my dad was like, don't worry. Like when I have like some work, you can come with me. So I used to go with him. I was like, this is his assistant. Like, but I never remember. I was ready to quit a bus. I did dream sitting. But deep down, I still wanted to be a rapper. So I was like, you know what? After work, whenever like I work that day, I get a little allowance. Much allowance. It's usually just something. Like you're eating in this house. Like we're not gonna pay you like that. So it was
my units.
Yeah, my units. So I got my units. I get back home. I open my laptop. Just start playing around. And then I used to listen to a lot of Drake back then, and his producer was really talented, and you could hear really good melodies. And then the people like Swiss Beats, T Minus, Timbaland, and I realized that most of these producers actually play instruments. Like we don't know it, but they play instruments, or they invite a session musician. So I was like, you know what? I think I need to learn how to play piano, and I started learning like through the internet. I just like read. I didn't know what I was reading actually. I didn't know any music theory. It was just out of passion.
Did you already have a piano?
No, I didn't have a piano.
So how were you learning from the internet
Okay,
without?
that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
I'll just type on Google how to play. So now you're bringing all these terms that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Terms that I needed to go to school to actually understand. Sadly, at the time there wasn't any professional music school. I think the only place you would actually learn music theory was in Chilomoni, Blantyre, the late Chechamba.
Chijamba, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people have heard that name. So I went there for a session actually like later, but this was me in the beginning. I'll just Google and just check how to play. So I just knew that there were like black notes and white notes. I didn't even know like what is like the terms, the chords, the scales, nothing. So I was just reading and just putting these things in my head, not knowing I'm going to understand them later or use them later. As time went by, I asked my dad, I'm like, can you please take me to Che Jambas? I wanna learn how to play the piano. Lucky enough, after a lot of persistence, like I had to push.
Yeah.
I had to bug him, and I'm sure he was annoyed. He didn't take me because he wanted to. He took me there because
It's like, damn, Chabwin.
Ana figure botoba. Hey, adra school that posisa. Is it wabangira kumona go bugudi? He still wants to do music. So like anyway, let's go. Went there, guys. Epic fail. Sindikuzwa nini banji. Komanali mbuli when it comes to music. And I'm sure when you people see me play or whatever, talk about music, you think I'm lying. You think I'm just making this stuff. You know, my motivational speak. I started my farm with one egg, the chicken farm one egg. Nah, I'm being honest, guys. It was bad. So now I get there. He brings this book. It was for actual beginners. Now we're there. He's telling me, okay, this is C, this is middle C, these are parts of the piano, this is how you're supposed to play. Now, the crazy thing is how the universe works. If you keep on going, the things I was learning, like in a very dumb way, from the internet, started making sense when he was explaining. Meaning, if I didn't put in any kind of effort, I wouldn't understand this easily.
Yeah.
Como sort of right?
Yeah. At least you had some sort of foundation.
Had a foundation.
Yeah.
Tell me why the first song we had to do was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars. Agula guru. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars. And that was entry level. I couldn't play 3 notes like consecutively. I would just play like 2 notes and I'd fail. My fingers weren't coordinated. My brain was all over the place. And I went there for the next session the next day. I wasn't good. Bad. I only knew where to find C, and the rest didn't make sense. Went on the 3rd lesson. That was better because he gave me notes. When I went there, at least I could play the C major scale, and I would play a little bit. I'll play half of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars. And then he was like, okay, where you are now, I'm going to give you these notes. You need to find a keyboard. And that's when my dad took me and then went to consumer electronics. How many of us have gone to consumer electronics to buy anything? I'm sure you know the prices.
We'll just go to Window Shop.
Window Shop. Guys, went there, look at the price of the keyboard, the entry level. He was like, nah, it's fine. And then that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
And I never did any more lessons because the stage that I was at, I needed to practice consistently and I couldn't have access to a keyboard until I had a phase in my life. If you want to talk about this phase of my life, I mean, you can reach out on Instagram, whatever, Facebook, or we can talk later. But I had a phase where I was an deep down Pentecostal born again Christian. So you know those. I was one of those. Not proud to say that I'm not anymore, but I believe better and I'm a better person now, honestly. And one of the scars that I have is actually from church. You know, and I'm sure a lot of us have experienced some kind of pain, some kind of trauma to the church, right? Because I'm gonna discuss this later, like I said, but I feel like church played a huge role through the music and my spirituality. Because going to church, I was interested in still the music department, and then that's where I found access to also like instruments.
So you move from Che Chamba's giving you these notes. You need to practice.
I need to practice.
But now practice meant spending a lot of money, which you didn't have. So from there, you turned to the church.
Yeah. So turning to the church is actually a crazy thing. Was my mother actually, because my parents later divorced, and also that kind of like messed up with some education, even some money, even life just shifted.
Yeah.
So I think at the time she needed a lot of grace and a lot of spiritual support. So she'd always take me, like whenever she's going for prayer, she'd always grab me, and then we got to this church, and then that felt like home. So that's where we started going to church, because we moved from the first church we used to go to. Like originally we were like CCAP, Presbyterian, so we had to go shift from Presbyterian to Pentecost, and it was so new because if you CCAP back then, not now, but back then CCAP was just hymns,
and
no instruments, just clapping hands. And then we went there. Guess what I see in the front?
Piano.
There's a piano. I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
So I reached out to the guy who was playing. I was like, bro, I need you to teach me. I started learning. He was like, no, it's okay. Like after church, just wait. Hey. When it's finished, he'll be like, I'm ready to be. So I'll be like I'll be like his handler, Did masule. My speaker, because I want to go. Are you really serious about this? So yeah, another Zunzaya, but I'm grateful for him because he's the one who showed me how to play the first song ever on piano. That was Trading My Sorrows. I'm sure a lot of us know that song. Trading My Sorrows, Woman of Faith. From that, with the notes, with what I read, everything just kind of came together. But then a shift happened. And there was no one to play guitar. And because I was so interested in the music, they were like, I think I wimba guitar.
Yeah.
And Ine and some other friend of mine, the person who started calling me AB actually, his name is Chimamai. Him and he used to play bass and I was on lead. Guys, guitar I used to play one string, Yabansi. And I would just follow the melody of what the singer is singing.
Okay, for those who may not know, how many strings does a guitar have?
So a guitar has 6 strings and usually has 24 frets. So
but you'd only play one string.
I'll only play one string.
Okay.
Yapansi. Mpaka inaduka. Guys, it's crazy. Mpaka inaduka.
Yeah.
And I had to look for lessons and I couldn't find lessons because I'm time age for you to actually have like proper bundle.
Go on my video on YouTube.
Go on your video YouTube. It was difficult.
That was more than the cost of the keyboard.
Yeah, because if you think about it, that time data was really expensive. Because I'm sure we used to buy WhatsApp bundles and they would last at some point. And I had to look for lessons. I had to ask. I remember this one time actually. I had to walk from because I was staying in Manyoe and I had to walk to Nanchodi. So Blunt is very uphill. Go downhill, go uphill. I had to walk for I think about an hour just to get to his place. And then I went to his place. I told him, I want you to teach me how to play guitar. He was like, So now he's asking someone who doesn't know anything. And he started mentioning people who are like really good at the guitar. And mind you, Passion you say, you didn't disband the instrumentals for my rapping.
Yeah.
Crazy enough. But if it was a gig, but if it was I want to go play at a festival, or I want to teach people, no.
You just want to rap.
I just want to rap. So rapping has brought me to beats, and beats, learning how to play instruments. I get there, he started showing me all these crazy musicians, and I was like, hey, I think I should give up. Because he was like, no, and then he gave me this folder with a lot of music and a lot of concerts. Weren't really lessons. And I'm going to my show. And then I just went and just watched. And guys, this was very discouraging. I'm not going to lie. Imagine you're a baker or you're like an aspiring chef. You want to learn how to make lasagna. They will bang lasagna go bad. They will not go way. I want to see. And he's doing it really great. I'm sure you'd be like, no, I need to give up. And I'm sure a lot of you have actually given up on certain things because you were discouraged by someone else's progress.
Yeah.
Guys, don't give up. There's still time. As long as you're alive, there's still time. Because funny enough, everything kept on connecting because I kept on going. So now he gives me this folder, music, different kinds of music. Like there's West African music, Zimbabwean music. There was like some jazz. Jazz is very difficult, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I was just listening to these things in a very layman type of way. I didn't understand anything. Funny enough, this one day I go to town. My cousin calls me. He's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, I say, I'm passing by Jamba. He's like, office young by Jamba. Can you come through? So I go there. Go to his office. I think it was somebody Electrocard, Mastercard, some this company that does it just does something about cards. Anyway, we're there. His name is Bill Chibisa, by the way. His friend needed to create space in his laptop. And he's like, so on the flash, Bill and I be flash. Bill tells me, do you have a flash? I'm like, yeah, I brought my flash. I think it was like a 16 GB. I might have 16 GB, I got HP, and I got like that.
16 GB.
Hey,
That's huge.
that was the one. So I gave it to him. He's like, okay, I need to get my folders. So yeah, let's meet on Friday. I just want to like create space. I need to do some work. I grabbed this folder, got home.
You started snooping.
No, I just threw the flash away. Actually, he never called me until like after. He didn't call me actually. It took I think 2 to 3 weeks, and then he calls Bill to just check if I'm around, and I'm like, no, I didn't go to town today. He's like, okay, whenever you're around, please come through, and that was it. We never communicated, even with Bill. Bill was just silent as well. And then I was like, let me just delete this stuff because I don't need it anymore. So I plugged the flash in, and there was a movie, Last Fishing Boat. I'm sure a lot of us have watched that.
Yeah.
I watched that movie. It's finished. Nice. I pressed next. Guess what I found? The universe, guys, if you keep going, somehow it makes a way. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced your type of miracle or whatever it can be through the universe. If you don't give up, I think God does exist. Don't ever let anyone tell that God doesn't exist. Nah, God exists in this universe. I press next, and I find a very good instructional video on how to play the guitar. Crazy, guys.
So random.
And this is the best series. If anyone has ever asked me to teach them guitar, I usually send them that link, and then I tell them when you get to episode 7, then we should start. Like we'll be able to understand each other. Yeah. And guys, I found 4 videos of that session, and this was everything I needed to play. Guys, my life changed. Went to church. The music was different. People like, what? Where did you learn? I was like, you guys found lessons in the back. Now, because now I wasn't playing one string anymore. I was playing now proper. I learned the pentatonic scale. I learned the major scale. I only knew like 2 scales, but then I would also learn certain things. Hillsong, because Hillsong was really popping also at the certain time before the Maverick City saga. Right? Yeah. So I used to download the lyrics and then check the chords, write them down, and then I'd open like Google as well, check for how to like,
finger placement.
Finger placement, and then so now these lessons just kind of unlocked a different era of everything. Fast forward, I kept on practicing, and I was obsessed. All right, be obsessed. Be obsessed with whatever you're doing. Can do accountant. Be obsessed. Find out who was the greatest accountant ever to ever exist. Follow what they did, because I feel like a lot of us, it's okay to be content. I mean, it's fine, but you need to dive in deep at whatever it is you're doing. Keep going. Just look further, learn, be knowledgeable. Because I feel like if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been anywhere. So now the guitar is there. Now I had like knowledge on the keyboard, but I advanced very quickly on the guitar.
Yeah.
Then a friend calls me, like, brother. Actually, no, he didn't call me. He actually posted, we had this group of musicians. He was like, I'm looking for a guitarist. I'm like, Brian, I play, but I play in my bedroom. I play alone.
Yeah.
So I've never really played on a band. It's like, I just come through, just check if you can play.
Hold up. At church, when you were playing with the band, or you were just practicing to fill into the position? Like, were you
Okay,
playing on Sunday?
we didn't have a full band. Yeah, it was just the keyboard is to put those backtracks, and then there was the bass and the guitar. So it wasn't really like a full band, and it wasn't as coordinated.
It was just as long
It was
as
just as long as the music is the key, and it sounds okay.
You can get a hallelujah. Bas.
Let's go. If they give you a solo, even if the solo doesn't make sense,
as long as it comes out,
as long as we can hear it, it's fine. So that was the type of thing. But when I got back home, I would try the videos and I consider I would try, to
play
along. So most of the better stuff was at home in my room. I'd like try that, and then I'd learn something. The terminology wasn't there yet. It sounds like this. Then as we went, I was added to the group. Musicians were just discussing different kinds of things. I didn't really pay attention as well because, But then that day, he posted, like, I'm looking for guitarists. I'm like, I play guitar. He's like, okay, come through. So I went to his church, Word Alive. That was Nafe. He used to play. He still plays.
He plays keys. Legendary, man.
Yeah, legendary. You know him.
Yeah.
Nafe calls me. He's like, okay, what do you play guitar? And I'm like, yeah, guys, I was nervous. Like, this was the first time me stepping out of my usual, like, my comfort zone. He started playing different kind of music, and lucky enough, I would understand like a bit of the basics what he was trying to play. So I'd play along. So like, I know what, you're good. So let's go to the band, and then let's meet at 3. And then he grabs me from town, and I'll go to Chirimba, where they set up the instruments. These guys are there. I meet Ralph the drummer, good friend of mine. Meet his brother Philip, and there was Nafe, and there was Patrick and Paul. These were keyboard players as well. And then they had a guitarist, but unfortunately he passed away. So they needed a replacement. And guys, when I tell you that this guy was really good, this guy was, at the time, he was playing like Word Alive, Frank Chimpazi, all the major artists, anti-mini, gospel, whatever. He was like the go-to guitarist at the time. So imagine bedroom guitarist
trying to fill in
the shoes of this person.
Yeah.
Guys, they play the songs. I was like, like, nah, I don't think I can manage. But then I didn't say this. This was in my head. I was like, and because they're playing these intros. They're well coordinated because these were guys who practice about 2 to 3 times every week. And I was so inspired, and something changed as well in my mind, because when I was alone, I started sounding better, and I thought I was making a lot of progress until I stepped out. That's when I realized I have a lot to learn. That's something I would also like to share with you, that there's always room to learn. Because I know it's different with this industry, creative industry. It's very different from, offices, because offices, you already know there's someone better than you, But when it comes to us freelancers, aspiring musicians, or maybe just maybe even if you're like in tech, whatever you're doing, but if you're doing it alone, it's very easy for you to develop such a huge ego, and you don't even want to listen to other people. I'm going to tell you guys that you need to listen to other people. Open up your mind, open it up, and you'll be able to grasp something that you thought you knew, but someone probably knows it better. Because funny enough, it was these guys that turned me into a better guitarist. Because they told me, no, my guitar is zina, and they would explain it in a very non-guitar way, and I had to go look for that. And slowly but surely, I was learning. I learned until we had our first show at French Culture. It was a Blantyre Culture Center. It was one of those Sunday gospel shows. So they were really popping at that time.
Yeah, Lloyd Perry.
The first Lloyd Perry. It was way, way late. I think time was Ethel and the Great Angels. At that time, I was so nervous, but because I was nervous and I learned something I didn't know, and these guys also taught me something I wasn't aware of. guys, it was a success. Like everyone. It wasn't just my first show, even them, because they'll play apparently shows, but they were just like play at a wedding, play a bridal shower. But this was like their first big show, and I was privileged to be a part of that, and it was a success for all of us because now we were like a new school band playing playing with a different vibe and a different feel.
Yeah.
So that was also a great learning curve. A lot of mistakes were made. Forgot my intro to my wala journey,
Yeah.
but I'm just happy that I went through that. We need to be humble in any kind of way. Um, as we went, that's when people started noticing me from other shows. Be like, we saw you at this show, show at this show. So fast forward, started posting stuff online, the bedroom stuff, and then yeah, people started reaching out. And then I started playing for people that the same music that I got because there was even Malawian music as well. So I used to listen to people like Namadingo. I used to listen to people like
Yeah.
Faith Musa, Physics.
But at this time, are you still trying? Like, you've moved from I want to rap because I need to rap. I need to make beats, and because I need to make beats, I need to learn how to play an instrument. You move from piano to what's available, which is the guitar,
Yeah,
and now you're playing in churches,
playing in church, and
and then
then we
you're
started
playing
playing gigs.
gigs.
Mm.
At this point, are you still trying to rap,
Oh,
or now the
yeah.
vision is
I'm still trying to rap, but I'm stuck on making beats now.
okay,
So I circled back and then started making the beats.
okay,
The beats started sounding better now.
okay,
I didn't have a studio by then as well. I just had a small setup speakers. I didn't have a keyboard as well. So it was just my mouse and the guitar. And I started making better beats.
yeah,
Um, kept on going.
yeah,
So now these my gigs started bringing in revenue, and because mind you, you know how a divorced family is. Usually, a lot of resources aren't really there. So I had to be very smart with the money. So whenever I'd get money, I'd like set aside some money, set aside some money, set aside some money until I saved up enough to buy my first microphone
uh-huh.
and a sound card. So I was like, you know what? Now I can have a setup where I can rap, I can make beats.
Yeah,
But the gigs started coming in a lot.
yeah,
And now, because I kept on developing, a lot of people were asking for the instrumentals or me to like play on the play guitar on the instrumentals, and there was just a huge shift. Like rapping ija just died down.
yeah,
Now the focus was on the beats
yeah,
and the gigs, and then came the studio.
yeah,
Saved up enough to do mini gig bangono, save some money, buy one thing at a time, one thing at a time,
yeah,
and at the time I had one guitar,
yeah,
the one that I was playing earlier,
yeah.
and
So that's your first
that's
guitar,
my first guitar.
and you still got it.
I still have it.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I have multiple guitars now. I'm grateful to God, but that's something also we're going to get into. I'm sure we're going to have interactive session with questions. We need to also talk about saving and managing money, because freelancers, creatives, I feel like
We suck
we
at that.
suck at that.
Tuma uzibe pesa
Yeah, temafuna kuzivibesa.
because the world hasn't been nice to us.
Of course, and also we're Malawian, so you know how the industry here is. It's very, it's not fair to some
Yeah,
of us. So yeah, so the studio came, and then the gigs were coming in, and I started now producing for certain people,
yeah,
because it's like now I'm being in these spaces where there's so many artists.
yeah,
When you go to a gig, you meet this one and just get your numbers. Like, oh, I want you to jam with me at some time. We need to work on something. So they would reach out, and then I would also let them know that if you need like studio sessions, hit me up.
yeah,
And I think it was all about networking and also positioning, because I feel like sometimes if you don't tell people what you do, they'll probably never know. Sometimes you need to be vocal about it.
yeah,
And a friend of mine actually told me this. Her name is Toko Kadewere.
yeah,
She was like, I like the stuff you do. You put a lot on your stage, but you need to like put it on Instagram as well.
yeah,
You know? So that was the beginning of a whole different thing now. So whenever I'd play, whenever we're practicing, she would encourage me like, Do you get my Instagram? Do you get my Instagram? And that also brought in a different market. And content as as we know it right now, I think in 2025, content is a very important thing in marketing. Market yourself, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Market yourself. Be vocal about it. Tell people about it. Some may care, some may not, but please let them know because you never know who your next client, customer, or even destiny changer may be. So if you sit on whatever you're doing, if you have an ego, you don't want to learn, because when you tell people actually, they also like open up a certain door.
Yeah.
Because it's funny enough, even the way I got the first guitar,
Yeah.
not a minibus, and I saw his friend and I was like, I say, wasn't muntu wagusa guitar, and I was like, "Ah, and ndi nage,"
And then
and ndoza yo kabanye guitar kunama, like, anani ngongole anga dana ngene nangu kana. Yeah.
yeah.
So I actually didn't. I didn't pay for the guitar. Nine must speak in it's like for the home theater. JVC. Like, see, didn't go. Didn't go. So I was like, yeah,
Take
yeah.
it. Yeah.
For me, that was like, yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, I don't go to my speaker. Yeah. So it took them. For me, guys, this was amazing. So
Yeah.
I think about it because if I didn't speak out about what I wanted, sometimes you just ask a random person, like even right here, there could be someone right here
Yeah.
who needs your service.
Yeah.
There could be someone right here who's gonna like connect you to someone else. So we also need to learn how to network. We also need to learn how to communicate better, because I feel like you never know who's gonna provide a helping hand.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
I'm sure a lot of us have read the Bible. So many stories in the Bible.
Yeah.
This reading a Bible, Rija. I feel like a lot of Christians now even don't read the Bible. I read the Bible like a story. I was just reading, so I found out a lot of things. Go to the Bible. There's so much you can learn from it. Because if you just wait for Sunday and then just read one verse, you're gonna miss out on a lot. Also, on the reading, read whatever you can. Read whatever you can. That's in line with whatever you're doing. Because I've read a lot of musical books, even though I was reading things that were not on my level, and I understood them maybe like 5 years later. So I've been playing guitar for 10 years now. Production, that would be probably in the 14 years. So along the way, it hasn't been very easy.
For sure.
It hasn't been very easy.
Yeah.
We're gonna circle back on the divorce part. That's something that really messed up with my mind. I couldn't focus on work. I couldn't focus on anything. The therapeutic thing that I had was the guitar.
Yeah.
So that also helped me to actually pull through at that time, because there was always a lot of stress. You see your parents fighting, saying things that you never thought you'd hear them say to each other. Growing up, you just think that things are gonna go smooth, but that brought in a lot of pain in my life. I've also experienced something in my life that I thought I was gonna die, by the way, at the time. Apparently, when your heart wants to get infected, it brings out certain fluid to protect itself. There's a sac around the heart. So I also had to go through that disease. It's called pericardial effusion. And apparently the fluid is supposed to disappear, but sometimes it doesn't. So mine didn't. And around that sac, there was around about 250 milliliters, like Kabodroga Kamaz, but it was around here. So I just started feeling sick, and I couldn't just walk maybe from like here to there. I'd probably be tired, and I had to get a procedure done. I had to get a procedure done. They removed it, and I think that took me about 8 months, and that also inspired me to say, this life is very short. We usually think we have time. Creatives, maga, I feel they were like, I think we're the greatest procrastinators out here,
Yeah.
because we're not on a schedule. We usually have our own schedules, or else if you have a client that's when like, okay, we have a deadline. But personally, we don't really have proper schedules. We're just like, okay, I want to learn something, but okay, I'll do it later. I want to start something, I'll do it later.
Yeah.
That also told me that, you know what, I need to get serious with whatever I'm doing, because this meant that all my efforts were just going to go down in vain. I wanted to be an artist, I wanted to do music, and God just showed me that He can take life at any time. So when that happened, I told myself that I need to get serious with this. I know people are playing music and I know people are doing what I'm doing, but I want to do it differently. That is when I told myself I'll become one of the most reliable guitarists around. So if I'm showing up, I'll show up with my own resources. I'm going to show up with my guitar, no matter where a guitar. Kutu kumene koko nsakane uri mundu bwere guitar.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you find that some musicians, they go to a place, they don't have the resources.
Yeah.
Like, I know photographers, not all of them even have gear, but you can find the gear, go to your client, tell them you came in with your gear. That will make you look serious because we need to take whatever we're doing seriously.
Yeah.
Most of us don't even have proper communication systems for people to reach out to you. Phone yako kuvuta, phone yako kuzima. You know, Facebook baja palibepo,
Tazimisa
Instagram
data.
palibepo, Twitter palibe tazimisa data. You don't even have like a next of kin they can reach to. You don't even have like even a flyer. Like, you need a flyer, even if you're a musician. Like, have a flyer.
Yeah.
You know. So I just made all this, and funny enough, in my friend group, I was the only one with that. So I was the easiest to reach out to. So
just by positioning yourself correctly, even though you may not have been the most talented, but because you're the most accessible,
exactly,
that just made you.
And I became the go-to person in Blantyre at the time.
Yeah.
So tukufuna band, I say, they reach out to me. Tukufuna this, they reach out to me, even though I don't have the service, but because it's easy to get access.
Yeah.
So that's also a thing I'd want to see a lot of us creatives do.
Yeah.
You find that you're looking for someone, you know their work is very good, but you can't get to them. You need to go through A, B, or C, D just to get to them. So that's also something that kind of pushed me. And wherever I went to, I made sure I should look presentable.
Yeah.
Be presentable. You go to your gig, you go to whatever you're doing, you're delivering snacks, you're catering. Look better than the part. Don't look just the part. Look better than the part. Because there would be certain times people would think I'm the artist, but I'm just there to play guitar. I show up with my stuff, I show up with my gear, I'm setting it up on my own, and then even most engineers would be like, we're sitting up with now, but you can't you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if we're doing sets where we have to do backtracks, loops, I carry my laptop, my sound card. And mind you, this is the stuff that I'm supposed to be using just for business. But I would grab it, I'd be like, no, let's go with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that also brought in value. So the value brought in the money. You see? Because at the time already my mom is struggling. I can't be like, I need more money to buy a new mic. You're gonna be like, wait, what you buying? Yeah. So strategy. We need to have a plan. We need to have a strategy. We need to figure out that which we want. Because I feel like most of us, we start and then we get to this phase where there's just the obstacles. There's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and we're just stuck there. But question should be, how do we get out of that? How do we move from that to the goal? Because I had a goal, and I'm happy that I got to my goal. But some of you probably haven't. Some will never, because maybe they just think it's impossible. But I'd encourage you to say, no matter what it is you're going through, please have a goal and keep looking towards that goal.
Yeah.
So whatever pain, whatever painful thing you can go through, I'm sure if you're focused on the goal, at the end of the day, the goal is the goal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the goal is the goal. You need to get to your goals. So as a musician, when I found out that gigs are giving me revenue, I respected the gigs, respected the client, and I made sure that my delivery should be on point. Not the most talented, not the best, but the most reliable. So I've played for a number of people. I think almost every top artist in
Yeah,
Malawi.
all the major artists.
Almost all the major artists. Just probably a few, but almost all the major artists in Malawi I've played for. And the, the list is long, but a lot of people know me that I play with Patience Namadingo. I played for the Great Angels Choir, played for Ethel Gamwendo, I played for
You're part of the Hive.
Physics, yeah, I played for Ella and Juji. Actually, I was the one who started arranging live sets for Ella and Juji.
Yeah.
So for Prince came to us and we told him, okay.
Yeah, I found you in Melodic Studio. For those who don't know, AB has a studio right here at Zaluso Arts. It's called Melodic Studio. In there, you're working with Tema, working on some arrangements as well.
Yeah, I've worked with Tema. It's a really long list actually. I just need to have I need to post lists after this so that Patience Namadingo. Yeah, a lot of people call him Doc. So yeah, but Praise Umari, Sanji, it's a really long list. So like I said, it was the go-to guy. So sometimes I wouldn't even just play. Sometimes it's just be me putting my friends on. That's something you should also do because in a way the universe will always give back, guys. Don't be greedy. You might know something that someone needs. Please point them to that because there's a lot of greediness in the industry. There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of I don't even know how we can go on about this, but I'd love for us to be one big community.
Yeah.
Let's support each other in whatever way we can, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of bread, and we're all gonna eat at the end of the day. So let's not be greedy, because if certain people were greedy with certain information, I wouldn't be here.
For sure.
You know. So if Nafi didn't put me on to say we need you, and even though you're not as good, but we're still gonna go with you, I wouldn't be here. So same with me. If a gig comes to me and I know that someone can do it better, I always point them to the person who can do it better. If you're looking for a vocalist, I'll be like, okay, go to this person. If you're looking for something, I always do that. So it's people ask me even like for bands with genres that I don't play because by choice. Because I mean you can't do everything, you know. At the end of the day, you can say, well, yeah, I show you gospel. If not, nah. Sometimes you have to just be open, open up doors for other people, give the opportunities to other people. That way, you're creating friends, you have a network, you have a community, and yeah, you're that person that people rely on. Management. There's this thing of burning bridges that we also need to tackle as creatives. Maybe because of a delayed payment. Imagine
Yeah, man.
So we burned bridges. Maybe because things didn't go the way we wanted them to. Maybe because the client was complaining about the service. Let's take down the ego because sometimes we're the ones in the wrong, but because we are special. I'm being kind of a superstar because you know, we don't like to be corrected. So correction, it's just one of the things we go through. It's painful, but you can heal from it. You know, it's a scar that you have. It goes because if you burn bridges, what if you need to cross back? That's something we don't think about because I know a lot of people in the industry now. You find that they're like, "Ish, I can't work with that one." Another bangajagut. I'm a Vuda. That's why I was saying we need to be knowledgeable because treat yourself as a business. Don't just treat yourself now as a sound engineer. Don't just treat yourself as just a drummer, just a keyboard player. Don't treat yourself just as, you know. You need to think bigger. Okay, this is what's putting food on my table. How can I manage this? How can I get better at this? Because trust me, you can make 100,000 today, but you need to know kumene kwachoka 100,000 kulizo 100,000 inaso.
Yeah.
But that all depends on you. It depends on how you're handling yourself. It depends on how you're managing yourself. Because even with the same money, you mentioned kuzibe pesa unde kumakhala pod 1 billion on this side. But kumazibe pesa so need plan. Because you can't say good, you just go pay, then you're grabbing the rest of the money, and then you're blowing it. Oh, manage it. If we don't know how to manage money, let's learn how to. I see a hand. Yeah. 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 Okay. On payments. What I noticed with most of us creatives, we don't have even basic quotations. Most creatives don't even send an invoice. Most creatives don't even have an agreement form, or like some sort of binding contract, because I'm sure if you go to any business right now and you ask for if they ask, you're not going to be like, I just want a price for this. They'll give you a quotation, and on that quote you have terms and conditions. That's something we need to work on, because if you're charging, make sure you charge and you make your terms very clear. Because as for me, there was a point, and I'm sure maybe Tagonda would actually testify to that. People were saying ebi ndovuta, komasuguna ndovuta, because I had terms. I'd say, okay, you want me to show up to this gig, you need to pay a deposit, whether I like it or not. No deposit, I won't show. And I stood on that. And I even told my friends, like the band used to play, Ajina Raf and them, be like, I better get yani, I better get deposit. Because yagu ni makayongo yankola.
Yeah.
You know? Ati mafuna mbwele muzaimbe what? And then mango out it free. But it's all you have is a WhatsApp chat that's end-to-end encrypted. Guys, let's do better. How many of us have booking emails? How many of us have business contacts? You can have your contact and you have a business contact. You can have, even just get a template. And right now, guys, life is so easy. Chat GPT, people.
Yeah, there's a lot
My
of
AI
free resources.
There's Meta AI, there's Copilot, there's Manus, there's a lot of things. I think right now I can't even keep up, because there's Grok, there's so many things you can use. Prompt bajabu sama ukango fuza kudi where's it happening tonight, Don't just ask about it. I heard King Kim Kardashian and what was something. Yeah? No.
Yeah.
Use these tools for your business. Like, some of you can even pay for that. How many of us have a logo? That type of thing. How many of us have a business card? We got a certain gig. We had to go to Egypt. I was the only one with a business card on the team. And I gave out my business card to everyone I met at the Intra-African Trade Fair.
Yeah.
And even the artist didn't have a business card. But the guitarist had a business card. And on my business card, I didn't say guitarist. I said entrepreneur, multi-instrumentalist, creative director. If you need any one of these services, contact. You understand? So now, even if the person is approaching you or texting you, they know that I got a business card from this guy. They know that you're serious. Present yourself well. So, Antonio, they don't want to give you the money on time because they treat you like anyamata. Anyamata or jambula.
Like they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, they're doing you a favor. Anyamata or jambula. Afoto mwasungira zokudya. That type of thing. So if you present yourself in a very afoto mwasungira zokudya, you'll be afoto mwasungira zokudya. Because even now, that's what I'm saying. Good packaging is very important.
Yeah.
How like, have you ever set up a meeting with a client? Because you can be like, okay, mufuna za jambule, let's meet. Where are we meeting? Tell them meet them at the restaurant. Buy them food. Sacrifice. Because a lot of us don't want to sacrifice. Buy them food, offer them a drink, Jabun, if you can't buy food. I'm sure Sudunga Kanigo or even could be ICC dog would fund and 5,000. At this point, I'm sure a lot of us can do that risk. We risk for other things. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, babies are gonna hey guys, we all become Superman, yeah? But when it comes to business, offer them. Let's tell them. Let's meet by Cocos. You know, you go there. Cocos got a drink is 3,000. What are you drinking? You buy them a drink. Okay, then you bring out your your coat. This is how much you charge. Yeah. So quotation mabas. You know, signed. Obviously, Baja, you have your terms. That means if they break those terms, you actually have the upper hand. Because you know most of these artists, they have that. Trust me, whatever artist those people have contracts and they talk in a very professional way, and they have the power to sue.
Yeah.
And you can also have that power. But if you're not presenting yourself in that way, in that manner, then payments always delay. And payment, I'll give you an example of something that happened to me. For your kuvuta guys. I'm a very friendly person. I don't know. In that band, I got kicked out of the band.
This is the first band.
I'm not going to mention the band. No, I'll just say I got kicked out of that band. So the reason I got kicked out of that band was because the terms of the band weren't being met, and I was the only one who was vocal about it. And the manager was like, "I went there, ufuna zizienda banje, ufuna zirandanda mazingata." I was like, "No, I feel like treatment until when we finished the gigs for that year, I got a WhatsApp message. I got a call and a WhatsApp message. Like, from now on, you're no longer part of the so band. I was like, that's fine. I just need you to pay me this that you owe me. And then I'm going to see, you know?
Yeah.
Funny enough, they circled back. They wanted me. And at this time, I told them that if I'm coming to your gigs, I'll be buying my own water, my own food, and I will never remind you to pay me. I expect the payment to be done as soon as I'm off stage or before I get on stage. And guys, funny enough, that year, but do you know why?
Because you set the terms.
Because I set the terms.
Yeah.
So to simply answer that, the relationship, yes, friendship wise, but at the end of the day, business is business. So you need to eat. Because timatengeka ndi passion and excitement tapasidwa kanchido kuti tipange kandi for graphic designer timangosangala kuti basi ababa
bola zateka.
But
yeah, of course.
at the end of the day, we need revenue, guys. You need to clothe yourself, you need to pay rent, you need to eat, internet. There's a lot of things that we need to handle.
Yeah.
So set the terms. If they can't manage, guys, there's always going to be your market. Even if they feel you're expensive, there's going to be a market for you.
Yeah.
Kudito antena agera mazwa the mafodo na age ama jambula mwina most kwa wiki bajambo jambula koma you see good even the quality and the money they're being paid, maybe for them it's fine. Kudito ma graphic design na age aindika Benik Center rao ama banga timakata what.
And that's fine.
And that's fine for them. Yeah. And if that's what you want to be, you can be that. And there are some people who do branding, and per year they can have 2 contracts. And those 2 contracts can take them throughout the whole year. You understand? There's certain people who can do just 2 gigs, 3 gigs per year, and they're set. They work an event, abang event in most tananazo. They'll pay their rent, they'll have the food. whatever, and the internet. They even buy a car. And Pariena, they have 100 gigs a year. 100 gigs. And they can't afford to buy a phone. Not that like I'm trying to like discredit whatever they're doing, but what I'm trying to say is you need to decide that I need to create value and I need to look at this passion as a seed. Let me plant it
Yeah,
and let me water it.
for sure.
You know? Because at the end of the day, you want to get the fruits of your hard work. Because guys, I've just told you my story, yeah. I've skipped out certain parts because we only have like an hour, yeah.
We had it now.
We had an hour. Apparently, I think we had an hour, so we've actually elapsed the time. So I'm not even done because the certain experiences that I went through that were so painful, I wanted to quit. That's why we came. That's how we came up with creating melodies to discuss. Because melodies, we use that metaphorically. Because what we're just trying to say is getting fruits out of the pain. You know, it's been a painful journey. You are going to meet a lot of pain through the way, guys.
Yeah.
Betrayal, there's betrayal, there's anxiety. You know, anxiety is basically you failing before you've even started. How about you start and fail? And you need to fail. If it's like we started in Zambia,
Yeah.
kuja hapo kale ndipo zidi nyimbo sana tumizi. Akamakuza nyimbo imene yabwerayo.
Singakwanisesa.
Tivake zimenezi.
Yeah.
Ndipo zidi wajakali ubanga bwanji. You know? Sometimes you end up with, okay, this is the last money you had. You're like, okay, let me spend this money so that when I'm doing this gig, I probably get so. And then the gig gets cancelled. Apparently they postponed. Now you have to find other ways, you know?
Yeah.
So that's something I would also like to talk about later. I'm sure we're gonna have an opportunity since the hour is done. But another encouragement is if you can and you have the opportunity to, do something else. Have a side gig. You know? How many of you believe we didn't have Gurisa was a gig?
That's all my nigga.
I mean, because I'm always busy. I'm always trying to do something. Because I found a lady. Like, I mean, I was a jabba. Now, so that what name come madam? She's like, didn't know the numbers. And she told me, I was like, oh, okay. Then talk about yeah. And guys, she was making about 27,000 profit a day. 27,000 profit a day. I'd like to tell you this. Could you be accountant? I mean, I'm going to 27,000. I'm a degree. So imagine you're making 27,000 a day, 9 to 5. We na 9 to 5. I spend that's 27,000 on lunch and breakfast, and you're making that. So you can open up your mind to certain things. That's why networking is important. Meet people. I mentioned went to the Inter-African Trade Fair. I met Oskido, by the way, and his producers. I met also different kind of business people, and I was just asking them random things, because another thing is like just because we're superstar, we're good at what we do, we're the best designer, we're the best this, we're that. We feel like we're really at a very good place. We don't want to learn new things. Let's learn, guys. There's a lot to learn in life. There's a lot to learn. So I asked that, Nabangabo. It means goody, that money, you understand? I see a lot of people now. I'll give an example of Mike Mash. Mike Mash is always doing something. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a Gurisa Zambia.
He's trying to program cars.
Yeah.
So let's remember that we are not in America. We're in Malawi. Let's remember that. And the Kwaja is very weak on the international market. We need to look at the facts. Let's find time, research. Let's look for information that's gonna like make our lives better. Because you're getting money from whatever it is that you're doing as a creative. Good creative business, you gig based. It's not certain. You can go a month without a client, and you can have a month with 50 clients. It happens. So you need to also think, okay, what if I go into a dry season? Because for most musicians, even singers, when it comes to January to somewhere around Jamajim, And that's when most of the songs are coming out. You know why? Because they have nothing to do. So going to the studio.
Yeah.
Now there's events happening. So
yeah,
you need to think, okay, what if that dry season comes in?
Yeah.
You know? So I'd like to thank you guys for listening. If there's like any more comments or questions, because I feel like I was talking throughout. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to share. I went a little too over off script. But yeah, thank you for this platform.
Yeah, but thank you so much,
Yeah.
AB, for that insightful session. We learned a lot. Presentation, having a goal, through many challenges that come our way.
Exactly.
If we have a goal, those challenges will find a way of steering us to the right direction.
Exactly.
But yeah, thank you once again for coming, and thank you all as well for being here in person. Thank you to everybody that's watching us online. If you want to watch this again, it'll be up on our YouTube. Thank you to our partners, Nyali Music and The Influencer, for some of your technical support. We love you guys. We appreciate all the good work that you're doing over there. We will be back with another session in November, an exciting one. We're very exciting. Please look at our socials, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter at Zaluso Arts for all the updates. If we have any questions, I'll give it 5 minutes for us to ask any questions. That could be Zaluso Arts related, that could be off script related, or that could be related to the conversation that we have had with AB. So if you have a question or a comment, feel free to raise up your hand, and then we will take it over there. So we've got a question at the back there. Just if you could stand and introduce yourself, and
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Mm. Yeah. The fig. Okay. Okay. Fosolimenero ngirabwino kwambiri losangasa kwambiri ndipo tikhoza kuchedwa apo koma kuti tisachedwepo chimene nganene madala ndichonena kuti inuyo edi kagwidikano ka ntchito kakuyenezani kukaimba 47 kapena kumene muli choyamba muzizifunsa chimenecho ndi mukaona kuti kaimbidwe kanu sikakufikira poti mukhoza kumachaja ngati aku 47 ndiri zisokera kuti pamene popo pali ntchito imene mukuyithawa imene yamutani mugwire. Ndinakambapo za kuyimba muchipinda ndekhe komatu kuyimba muchipindako sikuti timangoyimba 5 minutes ndikusiyayi ndimakhala chinthu ndichilephera ndikubwerenza ndikupaseni chisanzo. Ndikachoka ku Magobo kuti ndapita ku X anditenga madala ndabwera ku nyumba. I was practicing ndikafika ku nyumba ndija ndipanga yonse. Ndikati practice kuti ndimakhonza mumvesesa pamene pamavuta pamene we think kuti ukungoyimba zimene ukukwanisa mamvesesa mataka. I was practicing from 8 to 2 a.m. How many hours is that? Sometimes I'm going to number 8 to go up and a half 7.
6 hours.
So that's 6 hours every day. 6 hours every day. Mvesese? Then mabanga notice progress ikamatani zikamapita. So chimene ndifuna nena nchonera kuti mukozokhala munthu kumene muliko panopa koma ineyo kumene koko mukupanga ntchito zotani yankho loyenera pa business ino mwene muzichaja milingo yaino regardless kuti kumeneko ndiye ndifake nafuza kuti kumayimidwe anu akubwesa value yotani because whatever you're doing, if you're doing it ndi value yoyenera madala okhala kuti anthu akutengani ndakuti amaona kuti munthu uyuyu sali pa level yaifera. That means you need to upgrade or improve. If you're not practicing, yambani practice. Ngati mulibe ma systems tukambawo, yambani. Or representation even ku church wonko. Azoona kuti akulu watu mmene kumafikira pano. Ndizosiyana. Ma church ndovuta, ndifana kuti tingoyankhabe zoyenerazo. Koma kuti tiyambe kamba za ma church makamaka ife ma musicians, timaphinjidwa ku ma church kufana. Tazambiri, ma church offers amakhala enake. Komano what you need to understand is muli ndi platform kale. Mundi kuti mukutani mukuyimba. Make sure you get better. Muzifunse nokha kuti kodi ineyo ngati drama chimene sindimatha kupanga ndi chani. Kodi ngati drama ndilibe chani. I'll give you an example. Very simple example. Nema drama ngati malaika nani masimbo zawo. Amene apita pa show ndokera masimbo zawo. Alipo muna kuzokhala atatu. I think Luciano amene ndi snare yake, aiso nditi na target yake Luciano. Awo big ali ndi masimbo zawo. Who else? I think ina matauka ndi snare. Ralph Zontana kana ndi snare yake. But you find with everyone else, mabwa ni mastiki, ina so madraman, makambi mastiki. Nde mufuna kulipireni 200,000. Koma mastiki mulibe. Koma phone muni phone yabwino. Bwanyi mwagulise phone mugule mastiki, mukhale ndi all hi hat. Because you look serious. That's what unapeka chisanzo chimene chonera kuti ineyo I think mwina ndi gigi mozi yo kamena tikunguyamba pamene nana kuti kuli gitara koma I've never asked that question fani mata kubwereka kwanzanga gitara imene fani kayimbira pamene kokoyo olopedo nalibe mata kubwereka I think momzo desire Kumbo Desire Manda. He had this M80 boss. I used to borrow that pedal. Ndete ndikandilipira nditenga ndama ndinani ndimpasa. Komzo chimene chitika zimene chanthu chisakuziwa kumenda fika kuja aziti adawa amabwera ndi gear yawo mwene anabwera ndi china chake pansi pa makebo zonse anabwera zawo. You understand? Mene mungathirire ine ndabwera ndi zinthu zanga transport yanga sina kupempha transport ndafika. Olo transport yanu kozo charge amwene ukoza kuya kabaza ku gig ndikoza transport yako wewe ndi 30,000. You aona chimene wakwera but sana bwe uzakutenga. You understand? Ndi ndamene anga kupase ndiyo kuti abwera uzakutenga kwanu akutumizira kayato money is different. Akuchaja gig moza okay transport 40,000 akafusa makao senza koma sinu maenda bagabazi ndi wa taxi wanga. You sound serious, you sound better. Or even if you don't say taxi, you usually I have in my user guy value jandi imene yoyo ndi aone di kuti mapite ka they go on your Facebook or they go on whatever media you have aone kuti kutuda maimba ndio ngozoti drama ine ndiyanga uma kuti ndibwende drama yanga ndeti nintengoso pauka ino mundi drama muzauza mundi drama mukuziwa anthu angati amene angabweke ndi drama mukuziwa mitengo yobwekesa drama mukuiziwa kapena simukuiziwa ngati musakuiziwa muziwe. You understand what I'm saying? Value imene muzapasa anthu ndimene ngapangisa kuti even kumene uko olomuli konko ine mupeza kuti you're being elevated in that same space. Fala ku church umene tuni maimba ene yakulu mbali mwasinje tuna kwake kosa ziwika atu. You understand? It's not so good in maimba in the mainstream churches. I mean tukwaziwa the good churches good equipment yabo koma chifana anaona the way I was handling myself. So it's all about the value no matter where you are. Anthu ajama tauka ena so amopera kutali because it reached a point where I don't dare to general fridge. And to do over. And to more about when I got to Mungadule. Chimena na rona ngati gadule. Chifukwa choti sina pemphe transport, sina pemphe zokudya. Tapeza maende datu, tibweyaso ndi gear yathu. Mwina kuti kafusa kulijana ati ndizazo toka. Okay, mafuna zazo tibweya. Tukimbira ma backtrack aja ma loops, tibwena ma sound card ya odabwa nyamata ma laptop amini baja. Chani zote mabanda mbi mwangu nsabanga. Mafika me uja gidali bana. Kani yomaliza nikumaliza kani yosegesa. Anot for example Alex, to remember Alex. I thought there was a gig kuna zabwela this nangwe that name Papa San. Apparently there was a stage of Vuda Wambidi and most of the musicians were from outside Azungu. And I think it is candies into that. That was the experience. And I mean about Jogona Zungo Yimba keyboard Amalizada Yamazija. Iwa Jada Nari Bambari, the next to go in. And I remember Janu Gudan and Yamoto my guitar. I go in the manja, or quite an abandoned Gambo Gudani. They could know. So, you see, they're obvious to me. Even Zan is a church is me also. They even know Tom Church as so gum church of Sanga Gudemegeze. You see, I can another time stick with church na choka and the Bandianga, Dindi Mastigan. Mogamazos Mastikonaja, music can get in the Muadinga Meba Jani. As if we are going to open Pandrat, Bergen Mastic. You understand? Give yourself the value. Because if you give yourself the value, the money will come in because you have the value. So, John Joru charge you, it's difficult. You understand? So, to simply answer your question is, about when you can have value, my dad. But one of our is any value.
Shout out. Thank you so much. We'll take we got a lot of questions. We'll take the question over. Let's take it from the lady. Mr. Soko is close enough.
Hi, everyone. So mine is not necessarily a question. My name is Taluba, by the way. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Taluba. I am a brand consultant. I actually am working with AB. He's my first to come forward.
No, turn it on.
Oh, hi. My name is Taluba. I am a brand consultant. I work with AB. He's actually my first client musician and artist. And mine is not necessarily a question, since this is a dialogue. Mine is comment to his question, right? So, as a brand consultant, this is what I'll say. I don't know yet. Oh, okay. I don't know what the brand consultant design is.
You mean your way, Basi?
Technical mathematics. So, first thing you look at Mama Charger is your structure. For example, transport. And for Mene, so we do a value and so, Mugamba Jonto, Mugamba Numaro Nesakalian, I basics. First, and then putting in the charity. In a so I'm a very big church girl. So you can say I can actually even say within some churches, unfortunately, can manipulate musicians. Do not even want to praise them and say you are doing it for God.
Amen.
If not for anything, trying to structure okay, churches will do it. Not even look at the area for the 100,000 then you try to see my equipment. wafuza kuti ndibe then you find out who hiring exam so waonesa attention is really important so consultation is this and drama mwenao okay msanga play kaya kwa jua kwase transport yanga ni hapo hawa zamani mfanya kama kuona ndani Where is the event? How long is the event? Do you have the right materials or instruments for me to come and play at an event? Excellent. Transport fee, rental fee, things like that. Then, so thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. We'll take one last question and then we'll close.
All right. For solo, abobo tikoza kuyankha munjira ziwiri. Pachi Malawi, kapena pachi business. Yeah? I think on a business point of view, obviously. Ed, I think somebody's also saying chimozo. On a business point of view, many state house, ni many illusions. Makoti sanga fanani. Komano, it just depends good function on your dani. I think Kwambi, we should think of the function. Because obviously, if you're playing, let's say at a launch, at an award event, at a wedding, my price I sanga fanani. Because that's where you have my meeting aja, you have negotiations, you have discussions. That's why you have your quotation. And I think abobo, tisatengere venue, titengere type of function. Because you're looking at my hours ndosiana, you're looking at zimena kufuna anthu achaso ndizotani ndizosiyana, maprotocols ndotani ndosiyana, nde mitengoyo iwene yadisiyana ziko mwambiri.
Alrighty, that was our last question. Once again, thank you so much for coming through the off script. Sorry, we've taken a little longer than we intended to. I believe that it's been a very insightful session. Shout out to my friend ABHD, aka Bob, aka Robert, aka a lot of other names. But like he said, my brother over there, let's keep interacting. Let's reach out to more people, and we hope to have different people come through and share their knowledge. It seems like the conversation around charges and money is a big one, so we'll be sure to include that in the sessions that are to come, where we can dive deeper into best practices in how to handle finances and how to handle the business end of being a creative right here in Malawi. So, on that note, thank you so much, and this marks the end of Script episode 5. You've been with me, Miko, and you're here at Zalusa Arts. One last time, shout out to Nyali Music and the influencer for all the support. Thank you very much.
Nice.